loves, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a quick and easy everyday makeup tutorial that I thought would be perfect for going to work and school and any other daily situation like that. So if you want to see how I got this really simple everyday makeup look, please keep watching. So the primer that I'm going to use is this one. It is the tone adjusting face primer. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. This tone adjusting primer is by e.l.f. and it's green to help neutralize redness. So the next thing that I typically do is my under eye. The concealer that I'm using for this is NYX HD Concealer in the shade CW5. So yeah, and it's actually snowing outside. So yeah, so I just do that and then I take a beauty blender. What is on my hands? Do you see this? This black stuff? I'm probably gonna take this phone out of the room because it's really making me mad. I already wet these, so I don't have it drenched, but like have it really damp and moist. To make my eyes look more awake, I'm also gonna blend some of this up to my eyelids as well because they're really dark. Sorry if I'm like rambling and I'm talking all over the place. I just thought that doing a talk through would just be a little bit more intimate, you know, get to talk to you guys and like just show how like easy this is, like how like it's a no-brainer. Like you can do this having a conversation and not be, you know, distracted. I have an email. Next up, we're going to use Wet n Wild's Coverall powder in light medium. I use this powder to set under my eye and it also brightens at the same time as it's setting. The brush that I'm using for this is by e.l.f. It's their small tapered brush. So the next thing I'm going to do, which you don't have to do as an everyday thing, but I just like to do it just because once I've learned how to do it, it actually I feel like it ties in my face. So I like to contour my nose. Because I have to lighten so much under my eye because I have such dark circles under my eye. And then after I put on like foundation, so you can't really see the definition and the structure into my face. So I like to bring that back in. This concealer that I'm using is by Flower and it's a few shades darker than my natural skin tone. I'm using the shade BC4 and I'm just gonna contour my nose. The nose contour that I'm doing here is really simple. You're just making a U shape from the tip of your nose all the way up to your brow. Kind of like the first time you guys were seeing me do. I'm taking this phone out of the room. Okay, sorry. Now I'm blending out my nose contour with that same sponge I was using earlier. So next what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and put on foundation now. This shade is Tropea Almond. For every day, just putting on a powder, this one actually works really well. So I'm using this huge foundation brush. This one's F01, I wanna say. By the way, the foundation brush that I'm using is by Flower and the foundation that I'm using is by Shea Moisture. Don't worry though, I'll link everything down below in the description box. Alright, so next thing I'm going to do is my brows. I use like a clear brow gel to set my brows. So while I let that set, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to basically contouring. So like I said, I wasn't gonna do a full out contour, but what I like to do is at least put on some like bronzer. So this bronzer is by e.l.f. It's in the shade Los Cabos. So I'm using this bronzer in the shade Los Cabos. This is by e.l.f. I'm using it kind of how I would a contour powder, just putting it on the hollows of my cheekbones, my forehead, my temples, and my jawline. Okay, so now that I've done that, my brows have set now, so now I can do my brows. I'm using the Go Brow by Ruby Kisses in the shade Light Medium Brown, and I'm just filling them in the same way I did in my New Year's Eve video. So if you haven't seen that, I'll link it down below if you want to check that out. So now, after I like fill them in, I brush it out. It has a brush on the other end. Okay, so once I finish brushing out my brows, I'm gonna go back in with that brow gel just to set them in place. Then I'm gonna put some concealer under there just to clean everything up. And then I'm gonna go back to that same sponge I was using earlier just to blend it all out. Really quick, I'm gonna throw on some blush. This one is by Physicians Formula. It's in Natural. When I put on blush, I like to do this gentle dabbing motion. I think it gives off a really natural finish. Now I'm taking the second color in the first row of the Carli Bybel palette, and I'm going to use it to highlight. It's a shimmery soft pink color, and I'm using it on my Cupid's bow, my nose, the corners of my eyes, and under my brow. And now I'm taking that first color in the last row of the Carli Bybel palette and using it for my cheekbone highlight. It's another soft shimmery pink shade, but it's a little bit different than the first one that I used. So now I'm going to get this mascara primer. The mascara primer I'm using is by e.l.f. and I'm just making sure that I get a nice even coat on all my lashes. Also now I'm going to put on my mascara. The mascara that I'm using is Urban Decay's Perversion mascara, and it's literally the only mascara I ever use. Now I'm using NYX Liquid Suede in the shade Sandstorm. This is my go-to everyday lip color. It's definitely my favorite. Also, I wanted to tell you guys that yes, I did spray some Badescu rose water spray on my face to finish off the look. So definitely use some sort of setting spray, especially if you do a quick like everyday look, just to make it last longer throughout the day, because it is something that you're going to be wearing for several hours. Alright my loves, this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this super simple, sweet and easy everyday makeup routine. All products I use will be linked down below, and they are all cruelty free, of course. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that this was quick and easy, but if there's anything that you guys want to ask me, comment down below. I will also link everything down below, all the products that I used, and I will see you guys in the next video.